they do even no one make person talk.
Kò ṣèjà, kò ṣe wàhálà, kí la fẹ́ fi tún ṣe ìfìsì wa, a lè máa dúró síbẹ̀, Yorùbá wa kò má ṣe tètè bẹ́ẹ̀ láàárọ̀, kí ògbó Yorùbá wa kọ́kọ́ ṣe kí ni àkọ́kọ́ dìbò tán. Tàbá wá dìbò tán, tàbá òwòrán yìí pé a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀, ẹ sọ pé ẹ ti gbọ́, tàbá ti ṣe mistake, ó má ti yé yín, tẹ̀sí ní pé mistake ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀. Ọlọ́dẹ̀pẹ́ ilẹ̀ nídìí lọ́wọ́ ẹ ti yé rí. Kò ṣèjà, kò ṣe wàhálà, kí la fẹ́ fi tún ṣe ìfìsì wa.
Hello there.
Ayékún làwa mọ̀ àmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Ayékún ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ aráyé.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Máyégún máa wí. Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Thank you so much for joining me. Share this broadcast. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, right? And tell them that Mayegun today. Oh.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún Diary. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹ́kọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
The battle for Lagos. It has come down to 48 hours. And a lot of people are interested, including you watching me right now. Share this broadcast.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Àní ẹ̀ súnra kì í.
Propaganda on steroid.
Àní ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Lórí YouTube.
MC Oluomo.
Yes, right. Bàbá bá gbé wúrẹ́.
Sure.
Yes, right. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Ọmọ àlè ni ẹ́, ọmọ àlè ni ẹ́, ọmọ àlè ni wọ́n náà. We are going to kill you ni, we are going to chase you away ni. And the whole paranoia, it has come down to 48 hours.
Yes, right. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá. Ayé ẹ̀sùnra.
Thank you.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin òwò. Ayé ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Òkúra olóṣèlú. Ayé ẹ̀sùnra.
Thank you. It has now come down to what is going to happen on Saturday in Lagos. The old tribal fireworks, the incitement, the hatred, all you have actually been witnessing. Everything has come down to 48 hours. And it seems things are happening at the fastest rate we haven't seen before. Today, MC Oluomo, the de facto chief of defense staff for the colony of Lagos, founded and in the service of Kolu Tifnumbu, made another declaration today, and this time around, it is not targeted at just non-Yorubas. Even you, silently shouting Obi Kerenke, LUP 74, LUP 75, Obi, and all of that inside your mind, they know you. Because the last election, which before the D-Day, they were bragging that with 7 million registered voters in Lagos, Abba, Oga is contesting to be president. That is Kolu. Naturally, you should expect at least 4 million votes for Kolu. Some were even placing bets that if Obi score 100,000 in Lagos, they will give you 1 million naira. I remember all those times. But when the D-Day came, the structure that they said Tifnumbu built for years finally happened to be structure of violence, intimidation, and what have you. So that came to light. And instead of Kolu to get 4 million from Lagos, he was struggling to see ordinary 150,000. Can you even believe that? It was so shocking that 2 weeks after that, APC, Egbekegbe, concluded that what happened in Lagos was rigging. Remember, they were the one controlling the INEC. They were the one choosing those who are going to work for INEC, right? But the bottom line of what I'm saying is that they brag so much. Meanwhile, what they are banking on is to maintain voter suppression, threats, violence, intimidation, bribery, manipulation, and what have you. So out of 7 million registered voters in Lagos, they succeeded in ensuring that 82% of them were denied, disenfranchised. I don't know if you know that it was only 18% of those registered to vote in Lagos actually voted. So they succeeded in that. But even that 18% that managed to vote, they still couldn't get the number. That was where the first shocker came, and they called it tsunami. But there was a mistake they made, which they are also making now. They made the mistake of making Igbos a target, wrong enemy. Meanwhile, as they claim that the population of Lagos is about 24 million people, the population of Igbos in Lagos is less than 4 million. That means the Yorubas, who actually occupies the majority part of Lagos State, you won't believe this, Abi, or you do, came from other part of Yoruba land to live in Lagos or to work in Lagos. And they constitute over 40% of the people working and living in Lagos, paying taxes in Lagos. Not just that. The real Lagosians that you can see, they are indigenes. And listen, there is Lagos Eko, there is Lagos State. Do you know that? Now, Lagos State means there are other parts of Lagos State, right, that are not from Eko, the Eko Gongon, the Lagos, but they are part of Lagos State. Cut the long story short, they only make just about 25% of the population. So if you put the indigenous Lagosians, right, and then you also put in, you had the residents Lagosians who are Yorubas from other Yoruba states. They control over 80% of the population of Lagos. So ordinarily, the Igbos, they are not of any political threat to APC at all. If you put all of this into, put them into factor them in, Igbos, and even all the non-Yorubas in Lagos, put all of them together and put them against the Yorubas as well as the indigenous Lagosians. They pose no economy, security, or political threat to APC. The real people they are not talking to, or they don't want to admit publicly, are this majority who are Yorubas. They have been those who have been subjected into the worst of the worst governance you can imagine. They read about how rich Lagos is, but go in there, it is a big slum. They are not even listening to them. So they went on a campaign of tribal, ethnic, divisive rhetorics. The Igbos want to take over Lagos State. But guess who is actually taking the people's land in Lagos? APC. And they are Omoniles who are there and safe, protected by the criminals of Lagos. You know the Omonile problem now. And you know how many of you have run, who become their victims simply because you wanted to have your own home. And they don't discriminate. Whether you are Yoruba, whether you are Igbo, they scam all of you and they unleash violence. Some people have been killed because of Omonile in Lagos. But guess who are the Omonile's godfathers? APC politicians. So all of you are suffering in their hands, Abi. But APC need scapegoats to gaslight, dog whistle, so that those who are actually benefiting from the crumbs that are falling off their tables in that mega slum, they will go after anybody they gaslight, including their own blood. Do you get that now? I'm actually speaking to those who are genuine Omoluabis, the genuine Yorubas, the genuine Lagosians. I'm talking to you. If I'm lying, I am happy to retract what I've said, but I know I'm not lying, Okay. They don't think the residents Yorubas, who are traders there too, who are also like the younger people who are like educated graduates but jobless. They don't think they can't be smart enough to challenge us. So let's throw in this card. But I'm saying this to you, statistically, let all of the, let all eligible voters in Lagos, who are all non-Lagosians. I'm not even saying Igbos now. Non-Lagosians. I say non-Lagosians. Non-Yorubas who are Lagosians. Like you have Igbo ancestry, you are from Igbo, you are from Delta, you are from Warri, you are from all these places. But you are Lagosians, agreed. Let's put everybody together, including the Northerners from all parts of the North. Let's put all of their figures together who are eligible to vote, okay? And put all the Yorubas who are eligible to vote together. And then see how, I don't want to say insignificant, okay? Because every number counts, right? However, put them against each other. You realize that APC will have no sweat at all. They shouldn't have any sweat. So gaslighting the Igbos and the rest of all those hateful things they are promoting, and even the violence and threats, None of these have anything to do with Yorubas or Igbos or anybody at all. It is just a simple kind of, evil logic that APC have been using for ages until now, that they are being called out for it. Like for real. Okay? It's been their way, evil way, for long. I don't know if you're getting that, are you? Of course you are. You should. So that is why in Lagos, they made it look like it's going to be war. They make it look like the Igbos are concentrating in Lagos and all that. All this whole thing, they are just mere distraction, as bad as they may sound. Do you want me to tell you what will happen on Saturday if INEC does not postpone the elections again? Do you want me to tell you what will happen? Sanwoolu will be defeated by Dagbadebo. But guess what? Sanwoolu is going to be announced the winner. How? I'll tell you the process. What you saw on the 25th of February, I can promise you this for free, is going to be even better. You know, a lot of you are angry right now. You are so enraged. And calm down. Remember that they said the INEC will do better, Abi? No, they are not going to do any better. After rigging the 25th of February election, right? They have destroyed the evidence already. Okay, all those noise about Obi's lawyers, chasing them, and they finally answered them and all of that. Out of 36 states and FCT Abuja making 37, INEC only allowed Obi's lawyers to see just 9 states. Even the 9 states, they didn't give them all the complete results as we speak, right? So Beavers failed because they actually wanted it to be like that. Now they are kind of making you feel like, it's going to be different. No, it's not going to be different. Now quote me here, okay? What will happen on Saturday? When you wake up in the morning, after the threat that you are going to receive overnight, never seen before, WhatsApp, radio, TV, tweet, everywhere, it's going to be like mental. Some people are going to be attacked the night before the election, right? Then on the day of the elections, maybe 1/3 of those of you who are so determined that you are going to go and all of that, you begin to have a second thought, just like the last time, right? Right. So then you will probably want to wait for INEC officials, Sabi, with a perfect beaver, Sabi. And then the IRF is waiting to upload your result, Abi. Okay. What will happen is that when INEC arrive, when you kind of gather to wait for INEC, in so many places they won't show up. Okay? They won't show up. Now, when they show up at all, they will show up like they are actually not prepared for the elections, okay? Now, when you finally surmount all of that and all those whatever will come with it, their thugs, as usual, they will be out early in the morning to let you all know that today is today. If you try anything, the police are going to look away as usual, okay? Then, against all of that, for those who are still going to be, they were allowed to vote. Once they start counting, then they will start attacking the places again. That's the point, okay? They will start attacking the places where they feel like this counting, it be like say this one don't they high. Destroy the entire place. Now, when in the entire chaos, a lot of you are going to be uploading different videos, bloody videos, burnt ballot papers, chase the INEC officials and the rest of them. But some of you will still follow them to the collation center. When you get to that collation center, you will think you are going to war zone. the police and the security are going to turn around. You will think the police are supposed to provide security there, yeah? You will watch them, okay? They will turn around, they will face you coming towards the center, whether you are satisfied or whether, it doesn't matter, okay? Now, from there, they will stop all of you from every local government. They will stop all of you who are non-APC from accessing the collation centers. Remember that you'll be shouting, they've started rigging, this is the war, so INEC cancel this election, INEC cancel this election. By 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. that evening, results will start coming in. You see all those places, they burn results, they burn ballot paper, burn everything. They will announce results for them. And let me tell you something. After the presidential election, right, and what happened in Lagos, they have been told that whatever it's going to take, this is no longer going to be them trying to play a catch-up game or anything. No. It's not going to be like that last time. They are going to declare landslide for Sanwoolu, or almost landslide. And ridiculous numbers too, that will further make you you'll be so raging, you'll be so angry, like angry. Then the following morning, Sanwoolu will broadcast and say, thank you so much, Lagos, for the vote, for supporting me for against all odds. Lagos State will go forward for continuity and all of that. You will be raging. Just like the presidential election, the entire Lagos State will just be like, Then, after that, their agberos will then come for revenge. And again, ignorantly, they will go after the Igbos and every other area that they felt that you are saboteurs. Currently, contesting against APC in Lagos, whether you are Yoruba, or you are not Yoruba, putting up a poster running against APC, Egbekegbe in Lagos right now, has been declared like what you can call a jihad. It is like a crime against Tinubu, which they have also turned to be like a crime against Yoruba. But do you know where they are so deceitful, right? This Said Elegushi, the former special advisor to Tinubu, who was later made a king in Lagos, boldly, without any sort of shame, he said, Lagos State is not part of Yoruba nation. If you want to do your Yoruba nation, or if you want to say your Yoruba this or that, Lagos is not part of that. And he is so right. Do you know that one of the things that was sold to the Yorubas by the AD, the reason why the Yorubas, so even though it was Yorubas that were contesting against one another in 1999, one of the things that AD told the Yorubas then was Yorubas could not afford, or AD could not afford to lose Lagos to the Hausa party. That was the propaganda of the time. And they said, the moment the Yorubas vote for AD, and including Lagos, being the commercial center of Nigeria, and the, what do you call it? The level of attraction that, gets to Nigeria through Lagos and all that, Lagos is going to serve as an epicenter of Yoruba globalization, Yoruba industrialization, Yoruba nation, like that. What they meant was that with Lagos, the entire Yoruba land will receive what they call the sovereign. It's going to be like sovereign wealth, where all the Yoruba states are going to put together their resources. develop a master plan for the entire Yoruba land, Yoruba state, right? Where should be industrial hub? Where should be, commercial hub? Where should be this particular hub? In different Yoruba land. And then they will now channel their collective resources to developing them, including building roads, schools, hospitals, rails, and all of that as a sort of homogeneous region. I wasn't too young at the time. A lot of you who are older than us should remember this. In fact, it was one of the bobos that Tifnumbu sold to them in Lagos that Aregbesola from Osun, okay, and a Lagosian at the time, could serve as a commissioner in Lagos. This I can't remember his name. What is this Igbo man's name? That served as is it town planning or I can't remember his name. So they sold the bobo of the idea of Lagos grooming Yorubas that will eventually carry out Awolowo's legacies and all of that for the entire Yoruba land. But it was fraud, scam. Aregbesola ended up being the governor of Osun. And you know what happened to them in Osun? They became the first and the only state in Nigeria that declared bankruptcy, unable to pay salary, half salary for 36 months from the Academy of Tifnumbu. Anyway, at the end of the day, Tifnumbu survived the tsunami of Obasanjo in 2003. Instead of sending people that will bring Yoruba land together, developmentally, he was sending jealous, looters, criminals, thieves, to go and represent or win election or rig election across Yoruba land. Today, if you go to Yoruba land, if Lagos is mega slum, what do you think Ogun State is? What do you think Ondo, Ekiti? You just need to take off the veil and see the evil these guys have done to Yoruba land for the past 24 years. Put it that way. But they are still living in denial. In denial that other people are after them or they are after their job. Play the ethnic card and see how it goes. So, I am sorry if I kind of, bust your enthusiasm as obedient. You are a threat. Of course, you are a threat. So, if as obedient as you have always been, that shook the entire or disrupted the entire political space in Nigeria, if all of their intimidation and lies and all of that is not going to get to you, and you can picture the scenario I just played to you earlier, right? Overwhelm them. I mean, out of 18% of you who came out, they barely saw 150,000 votes. They cut your votes down from 980,000 something, nearly 1 million. Oh, they cut it down to 582. Increased Tifnumbu's number from 151,000 to 572,000. You know how they did that? It's not beavers. It's not IRF. Now by hand. So, that's just what I wanted to know. Because the likes of MC Oluomo, after apologizing that, they made the same threat last time, yeah? But they still beat him. MC was beaten in Oshodi. Then after that, he came out to apologize and then gaslighted the people, right?
Ọlọ́run á sọ àwọn ọmọ yín náà bá ṣíwájú the president àwọn ọmọ tí yín náà á gun òkè lágbọ́rọ̀ lọ ṣí àlá please and please ẹ jọ̀ọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tá a bá ṣẹ̀ ẹ foríjì wá ṣóyè yín sí ẹ jọ̀ọ́ torí Ọlọ́run ẹ jẹ́ ká jáde lọ́ndì lẹ́gùn ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ gbé ọwọ́ wa yìí ká lọ fi tẹ̀ fún ìgbàlẹ̀ APC kó lè rámpọ̀ kí dùnú lè dé bá gbogbo wa please ẹ jọ̀ọ́ torí Ọlọ́run gbogbo yín Ọlọ́run ọbẹ Elédùmarè aṣọre ìyanu fún yín Ọlọ́run ò ní fìyà jẹ yín kò ní fòṣìta yín kò ní fara ní àgbọ́kọ̀lé yín kò ní já sófo gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ bá dáwọ́lé ó máa yọrí sí rere Ọlọ́run ò ní fara ní ọ̀n ní gbé yín dìgbàdìgbà káàkiri ọ̀n ní tọrọ owó fún yín lórí Facebook ọ̀n ní tọrọ owó fún yín lórí Instagram ọ̀n ní tọrọ owó fún yín lórí Twitter ọ̀n ní tọrọ owó fún yín lórí WhatsApp lágbọ́rọ̀ lọ́nṣí àlá gbogbo àwọn ọmọ yín ò ní dìtàkùdà lójú ẹ̀mí yín àpadà sí burúkú ó kéré tóbi kò ní jẹ́ téèyàn kankan nu yín arúgbó inú ilé yín á dàgbà á dógbò lágbọ́rọ̀ lọ́n kó tó fọwọ́rọ́ rọrí kú lágbọ́rọ̀ lọ́n iṣẹ́ àlá Ọlọ́run ọbí Elédùmarè kò ní pa àwọn ọmọ yín rẹ́ sọ́nà bí èéfín lágbọ́rọ̀ lọ́n bó ti ẹ̀yin tá wà lábúrò gbogbo yín pátá ẹ jọ̀ọ́ nítorí Ọlọ́run ò ní fi ná ọmọ kò ní fi jó gbogbo yín ẹ jọ̀ọ́ nítorí Ọlọ́run ẹ jẹ́ ká sowọ́pọ̀ lọ́ọ̀dì lẹ́gùn ká lọ ṣe kíni ká lọ dìbò fún gọ́vnà Sanwoolu ní Lagos State gbogbo àwa tá ń gbé Lagos State ìwọ tó ń gbé Abẹ́òkúta gọ́vnà Dàpọ̀ ìwọ tó ń gbé Ìbàdàn gọ́vnà Tẹ̀sí ẹ ti understand ṣe ẹ jọ̀ọ́ tó rọ Ọlọ́run ọbẹ Elédùmarè àdúró tí Ọlọ́run ò ní fara ní lágbọ́rọ̀ lọ àpadà sí burúkú kò ní dé báyìí lágbọ́rọ̀ lọ ń ṣí àlà bismillahir rahmanir rahim alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin arrahmanir rahim maliki yawmiddin iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in siratal mustaqim sirata lezina alamta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin amen. Thank you very much. God bless you all. God bless you Nigeria. Ẹ kú oríire tuntun Ọlọ́run á dúró tì wá ire ayọ̀ la máa gbọ́ ẹ ṣé bye. Thank you.
That's Alhaji Musiliu, MC Oluomo, Sheikh Musiliu. After that video, they went back to the drawing board. And I think that was when they realized that the Igbos are not their problem. But they can't say that now. They can't go back to the people and say, you know what? Let's tell ourselves the truth. The Igbos are not our problem. We're just using them for this political campaign to further justify why we are going to be very violent towards anybody that support anything that the Igbos support. You know what I mean? But you know the people they are actually supposed to be worried about? This one. But they went on to continue to make further threats. That's it, right? Here.
This is our kitchen.
See our kitchen now. Somebody that has been staying in 4 flats. We have 4 flats here for pastors.
Look at my kitchen. Here is my
demolish
kitchen.
everything.
This is where I'm sleeping. Ever since that time, no money to get a rent house. I don't have money.
Before, this is our flat. Just net, only net. People passing there will be crying for us. They say God is there to protect us. Nothing will happen to us.
This is where we're sleeping. Since that time, we reach now.
I just woke up now. See our places. See my pot of everything. Somebody, I have very giant gas, something where I'm cooking. I don't know who took it. They carry everything. And they are the money.
They asked me how much I will pay. Because they said 11.5. I said I don't have. They tell me, say, how much I will pay. I said I will give them 1 million. So after they say, no problem, make I pack my loot. And there no any pack loot because 10 minutes cannot pack loot. Before they go come, I tell them, say I will give them 1.5. Even that 1.5, if they don't allow now, even I borrow, I go borrow. but they say make the caterpillar enter. That's how they enter. They scatter everything, both the shop, both the houses, both the fence, everything.
What's the size of your house?
My size of this, I get 4 room and parlor into 2. I get 1 room and parlor, self-contained 1. I get the shop, 3 shop. I get fence complete.
Did you make an attempt to pay them? I was not even around when they start. Now my own building, they start first. So there will have been any way. I don't get. They don't even demolish before I even. They don't demolish the 2 shop where they from. Where I no time to even negotiate. Even though they say me I been 10,000, I no get.
But I've contacted to help me. I said the DPO. So I mean the DPO. I believe it was the duty of the DPO who could have assigned people to me to cover my building. But it did not do so. Instead, there was a patrol team they raised that was covering the demolition. So I don't really know whether it's to protect the people that came to demolish the place or to protect us. But they couldn't protect us because all our buildings were brought down. Before then, I have my all documents that I didn't receive from the demolition because I bought that now since 2011. I have the plan, the survey, and even the consent. I have them. But they couldn't allow us to take anything. All my loads all were demolished, were all destroyed. I start picking, if you can, I say you go to my place, you will see all my chairs and everything that I couldn't pick. Even my clothes, my documents, I lost many documents. Even my service documents, all I lost it. Because as we were destroying it, all these area boys they brought were busy removing things. If you say you try to stop them, they would bounce on you. They even beat my daughter up. So we couldn't take anything out of that place, apart from the clothes that we wear that very day. And later we went back there to remove some of things.
The government announced the disbandment of Landed Properties Special Operations Team following complaints over their untidy activities. In spite of their present condition, members of the affected community are relentless in exploring every option towards obtaining justice and bringing the perpetrators to book.
Which will never happen. So those are the people who are taking. And guess what? Let me tell you something. Bad government has no respect for anybody or regard. Okay? It has no regard for anybody. Whether you are their supporter, even if you are voting for them as well. Okay? When the consequences of bad leadership happens, right, it doesn't spare anyone. Remember that somebody said, why is it that all you Nigerians, all you do is talk, you are not doing anything? And that is somebody who is probably sitting comfortably in a safe place watching this broadcast. And all you could see is that people just talk, they don't do anything. But let me give you some education here. Social media helped in exposing the fraud called government in Nigeria. Social media also helped educate a lot of Nigerians themselves that ordinarily will never be conscious enough to have done what happened in Nigeria and what is actually still happening right now. They probably wouldn't have been able to push that. But I'll tell you, I don't know if you have ever done anything in your life to fight back oppression or oppressive government other than social media and all of that, okay? But on this social media, where we are talking and people are learning and learning, it was on this social media that the arrogant, good-for-nothing criminals ruling Nigeria were arrogantly, braggadociously saying there is no polling unit on social media. You know that? Oh, they're just 4 people tweeting in a room, just talking. They cannot, you know. Today, from this same social media where they are mobilizing themselves, without being paid a dime or a kobo, they have rattled the comfortable criminals that got all of us talking So what have you done in your life? I mean, in anything at all? You. Everything is talk, no action. And right now, the same social media where we are talking, that they actually called echo chamber is the same social media that they are now dreaming and hoping that if they escape this sword, they will ban it. They will do everything to ban it. So it's more than talking, bruv. I don't know what you have ever done in your life in response to everything happening in Nigeria. From social media, people got enough mobilization education to understand how divided Nigeria is. And in fact, it also helped people to choose their path. So, if you are just a keypad warrior, association of social media commenters, Facebook commenters, or comment readers, fair enough. We are talking about those who have now turned the people who were once fearless, the people who had structure, the people who told all of us to go to hell if we don't want to be, if we don't agree with the way they are running Nigeria. Right now, they have resorted into threats of the people who are just talking on social media. What does that tell you? MC Oluomo, for whatever it is, was talking to the Lagos thugs. There are those who actually have, see, many of you only have mouth. You don't have the number. Lagos, that particular Lagos, to save the job of all these guys, they need your number. They need you to come out. You need to go out and vote for them. Don't threaten people like this.
Please, if you don't want to vote for us, please sit down for Oluomo. Sit down for Oluomo. Thank you very much. I got the color shaking.
It is not a fight, oh. If you are not going to vote for APC, sit down at home, stay in your house. So others are even like from Oshogbo, from Iragbiji, from Abeokuta, from what do you call it, Ekiti and those places. They are telling Lagosians to go to Anambra and vote. So that's exactly the same thing there. That MC say, don't come out to. Do you see that number? If all of that people decide to become canvassers in their different communities, talking to people, I mean, if all of them can go back to their different communities and bring five people, convince them to come and vote for Sanwoolu without violence or anything, they'll probably have the number. But they don't want you to come out. If you are not going to vote for them, don't come out. Oh. Now, if you finally come out, you can't vote. They can't count the votes. Sanwoolu can't lose. Hey boys, this is what you should do. That's what he said there. He said, if you are voting and then you are leading and by some mistake, the mistake is that maybe another person starts leading and it's not them. You know what to do. Destroy everything. No election. Destroy everything there. And they said, yes, we got you, Baba, we got you. It is also similar to the trickery and the deceit that APC, Egbekegbe, represents, okay? Their youth leader, who said when they organized youth debates, okay, APC youth, APC, PDP, Labour Party, and the rest of them, they did debates, even though Kolu ran away from any debate, okay? So this guy, his own point, that was like, yeah, tell them. Just like I said, they are focusing on the minority that poses no electoral threat to them, okay? So it was like, you, all of you who came to Lagos on night buses, and then you came here, you settled there, you hold Asiwaju, your success, you hold Asiwaju, everything, you need to be gratitude and all of that stuff, right? That is Dayo Israel, the youth leader of APC. He said that on their national television. And they're like, but you, Dayo, you are not from Lagos now. Hey, but I'm a Yoruba. Oh, you are not from Lagos. You are not from there. Now, politics make you become appointed as a member of a SUBEB. Now, politics. So you became a member of SUBEB without having to contribute anything to education in Lagos. So just get paid. Who the hell are you to actually tell people that they came on the night buses? How many of you came on the afternoon buses? Bole Kaja and different things that across Yoruba land that came to Lagos. How many? How many of your parents also came to Lagos on different Bole Kaja? Amolu and what have you then? Who the hell is this guy? So it enraged the ObiDients. So yeah, they got beaten. The result of that is that they got beaten in Lagos. Seriously. And it shook them. But the madman was there at Baga in my two. You know my two Baga when you are going to Ajegunle, Okokomaiko, Kirikiri, in all those places, Baga, where did they sell car? My two. He was there. Say, my dear brother, I don't want you to do protest votes. We want you to do business votes. One name.
I believe very strongly that we have all come to Lagos to succeed. To show that Lagos has been good to everybody.
Hang on. Just before you watch that video, there's something I want you to pay attention to when he starts talking now, okay? At first, just their normal line of talk. You came to Lagos. You get? You came to Lagos. Asiwaju welcomed you and accepted you. That is, everybody who is living in Lagos is because Tinubu wants you to be in Lagos. If he doesn't want you to be in Lagos, you will leave Lagos overnight. He can make that happen. That's the word. You came to Lagos to be successful, to do business, to do this and that. Limiting the residency of the Southeasterners, the Igbos. Limiting their residency to business. Like they have nothing in Lagos. These are homeowners. Dayo Israel. Speaking to homeowners. Some of them, 4-5 generations. So Dayo, trying to gaslighting them. So if you want to continue to, enjoy that peace, we need to support continuity. Is gaslighting them, is insulting them, and they are laughing with him. And you know what people said? Mayegu, wait for Saturday. Let's go back there.
I believe very strongly that we have all come to Lagos to succeed. To show that Lagos has been good to everybody. You've done business here, you make money. And there's one thing that has made Lagos go forward. Concerted leadership. I want us to speak like family. I'm not speaking to you as a politician. The February 25th has come and gone. So 25th has come and gone. Now we need to move from protest votes to business votes. This Abuja is already concluded. Actually, you don't enter. Inshallah, by the grace of the Almighty, you will be sworn in as president on May 29. Yes, sir. Now, affects you on the 18th. Affects you directly. And that's why I want us to have that conversation. That's right. Do you want to align with the center? Or do you want to do another protest vote that will affect your business interests? Because we must begin to move away from sentiment to strategy. That's right. Now, business votes, not be protest vote. So make you talk to your people, your friends, your families, your loved ones, to come out on Saturday and vote Babajide Oluomo Sanwoolu. May the Almighty God bless you. Let me pray for you. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. O Mother of God, despite not our prayer and our necessities, but deliver us from all dangers. Today, Saturday, and beyond. O glorious and blessed Virgin Mary. Amen. Thank you.
Did you hear that? Do you want to do a protest vote or a business vote? Something that will affect your business interests. That's a threat, isn't it? Because of election. That's a threat from the youth leader, national youth leader of APC. Not like is the biggest of their criminal outbursts, or a coded way to tell you they are real them. But just kind of reflect on that and say, because of elections, the people that are making the biggest contribution to the informal sector of the same Lagos, what would you do if you lose, if they vote against you? Destroy them? He's actually a pastor too. I think Dele Farotimi can come in. I'll come back to Dayo.
To speak to places where I don't live and I have very little by way of experience, but I can speak plainly to Lagos State. The seed for what is happening in Lagos State today was effectively laid with the fraudulent presidential election. And I say fraudulent because there is sufficient basis upon which to make that claim. But more importantly, the figures that were released in Lagos State as the presidential election result were already doctored before they were released. It has no basis in reality. Yes, Labour Party won.
Do you have any evidence?
Oh, yes, there is more than sufficient evidence. Where INEC has become completely unreliable in terms of declaration of result, I will not even rely on the result that we have in our situation room. If I go by what PDP released in the public space, is more than sufficient. PDP said Peter Obi and Labour Party had over 900,000 votes in Lagos State. They had a little over 100,000, and APC had the same. The truth of the matter is that Bola Ahmed Tinubu was roundly rejected in Lagos State. It wasn't just the Igbos. It wasn't about the Igbos rejecting him. He was rejected across the length and breadth of Lagos State because it was a referendum on his 24 years rule and hegemony in the state. So when you now heard the INEC people announcing a result that was supposedly so close with such depressed voters number, I remember that I was on a rise maybe a couple of days after that result was released, and I said at the time very clearly that this result is not reflective of what happened. At my polling booth, they were counting votes up until 1:43 a.m. in the morning. My wife did not vote until around 8:30 in the evening. And so the same happened across the length and breadth of Lagos, despite the best effort of those who were bent on disrupting the elections. So when they brought out the figure, I said immediately that, one, it was not as close as they would like to pretend that it was. It wasn't close. It was a whitewash. However, in order to validate the lies that they have to tell and the tribal hatred that they are stirring up, they had to portray a close election so that the script that they have already written for this Saturday's election might be legitimized in all the nonsense they are doing. So number one, we must be clear about something. The first duty of a state is the protection of citizens. When you have a situation where citizens are being attacked and people are being singled out for attack, you had the one in Ije Ododo, one Bale in Ije Ododo or Kabiesi in Ije Ododo, suddenly remembering that he wants to worship Oro and is declaring Oro during the period when people should be out.
Well, I think we've had a clarification on that. He said the Oro rights will go up until Friday.
If you have had clarification on that, there was another one in social media today, some bearded clown talking about another Oro again. Yet this was the same person that was caught on camera during the presidential poll. So you have a situation where you can speak about the political class in a situation where you have a political class. What we're dealing with is a criminal class that is determined to hold the people down by force of arms or whatever it takes. They are making this about tribe because there is no record to place before the people. We've had 24 years. 24 years. My people have a proverb. They say, "Iṣẹ́ tó ṣe ọmọ ológun ọdún, ìyà tó jẹ ọmọ ọlọ́gbọ̀n oṣù. Tíṣẹ́ òun ò bá pa ọmọ, ó yẹ kó dẹ̀yìn lẹ́yìn ọmọ."
Okay. Well, we are going to have to temper our language a bit.
Let's
temper our language a bit.
Don't worry.
National television, so we have to be very careful.
Temitope, I hear you, but let me say this. I am not a frivolous man. I did spend some years practicing some type of law before I retired as a lawyer, so I'm well advised as to the possible legal liability of any word that I might use. So anything I'm saying, take it as a given that before I would open my mouth to say so, I know as a fact that what I'm saying is the truth and I have absolute fact standing behind it. And because you have said so, let me explain myself. Over 2 years ago, I sat in this same studio and I announced to everyone that there was a murder plot over my life. And I then went on. This was after I had submitted petitions to the DSS and to the State Commissioner of Police. Up until today, in this state, in a country governed by law, nothing has been done. Some of those persons are the ones busy going around threatening people again today. I've been coming to your TV studio for a while. This is the first time in years since I've been coming here that I'll see armed soldiers required to protect what is supposed to be free press. So we're dealing with a situation where even though we might pretend that we're dealing with normalcy, there is nothing normal about our situation. If the people are allowed to vote in a free and fair election, these people are over. That's the truth. They have no record to place before the people. Only intimidation, blackmail, ethnic division, religious division, all sorts of divisions in order to keep the people from saying the truth of what they should be facing. Was it the Igbos that have been digging up roads in Lagos State over the last 24 years? Has the Igbos been the one that have stopped the rail that has taken 7 kilometers or thereabout that has taken 16 years to construct? Was it in the Igbo that stopped that? Who is the person who is busy selling all of Lagos to people. There is not shouting about Ndigbo. There is just a validation of hatred in order to divide the people's attention so that they might not face the issue. The real issues are about a collapsing state, a collapsing country. They might want to forget all of that and distract our attention.
Let me just interrupt you briefly.
Please.
Earlier you talked about criminal gangs, being given free hand to run.
Yes.
And of course, we've seen all sorts of posts and videos on social media that could be characterized as hate speech. But, sadly, nobody has been arrested, nobody has been prosecuted. So I'm wondering, is it that there are no laws against such, or is it that the laws are not being implemented? If the laws are not being implemented, how do we enforce that?
I've been shouting for years. It's pretty much the same seat, talking about the fact that we are not a country governed by law, and that we are a country governed by impunity, that our policemen pretend to uphold the law, but they know that they dare not uphold the laws. If they tried it, their political masters will end up in prison cells. So what you end up having is the administration of impunity, and that is what governs Nigeria. So these people you call criminal gangs, that I will also call criminal gangs, they are not really criminal gangs in the classic sense. They are part and parcel of the governance process of Lagos State and practically the whole of Nigeria. Because you were there, people saw pictures. There, right there in broad daylight, policeman standing, the evidence of the state. In Yoruba language, you call policemen Olopa. Olopa actually emanates from the person who carries the staff of office, the Oba staff of office, is insignia and authority. So, in the Yoruba's mind, the Olopa is the symbol and representation of the state. You saw policemen at multiple locations standing aside while thugs, quote and unquote, we call them thugs, but they are not thugs. These are stakeholders in the governance of the state. The BBC had a documentary where they had MC Mushroom Pikin calling governor. That is what we are all pretending we do not see. And that is what they are hiding behind the hatred that they are stirring up all over the place. So you and I will call them gangs because that tickles our fancy and it helps us to deodorize those who wear bow ties, wear suits, wear agbada, sit down in your studio and speak Dogon Turenchi to cover up for those who are carrying guns and are threatening everybody else's peace. The reality is that they are not criminal gang in the true sense of it. They are part and parcel of the governance of Lagos State and have been for the last 24 years.
So if we say we are a state or maybe a country...
Do I need to add anything? Dele Farotimi, as usual, finished work explaining to all of you what is going on in Lagos. And in context, right? For you to really understand this in action. Today, in Surulere, where Olumide Oworu, something, right? Olumide Oworu, a Yoruba boy running against Desmond Idiot.